Hi, welcome to Zine 101. In today's lesson, we will be learning how to make a 6-page zine out of one sheet. This is the zine structure most people start with when making zines, so I thought it would be a great start for all of you to learn how to make a small book structure out of one sheet of paper. It's very accessible, so let's get into the material, shall we? For today's lesson, you will need a standard sheet of copy paper. Mine's pink because that's my favorite color. You'll also need a bone folder and an X-Acto knife. Now in the tools section in lesson 1, there's some alternatives that I have given if you don't have these. If you don't have a bone folder, it's not entirely necessary for this one. It does create really great sharp lines, which we always like when we're folding books. And you can use scissors instead of an X-Acto knife, but once again, they really do create nice sharp cuts. But if you don't feel comfortable using one, always feel comfortable with what you want to use because X-Acto blades can be very sharp. So comfortability is key. And since we'll be using an X-Acto knife, I will be using a cutting mat so I do not cut my table. Let's get started, shall we? The first thing we're going to do is fold our sheet of paper long ways down the middle, lining it up. I like to use my fingers to feel for both edges to see that I'm straight. And once I am, I go straight down and make that nice sharp crease. After that first fold is made, we're going to open it back up and fold it the other way. Short side, once again feeling to make sure we're straight. If it helps, you can always use a little bit of an edge to make sure you're straight. I like the feel because I like the way paper feels, if I'm being honest. And we're going to go straight down. You see, bone folder not entirely necessary, but my line is not as sharp as the one I made with the bone folder, so I'm going to clean it up. We're going to open it back up, and using this line down here in the center, we're going to fold our paper in fourths on the short line. It's one of the ways I do it to find that line is using my fold line because it's already straight and sharp. And you see my paper's buckling a little bit, but that's normal. That's one of the reasons why we use the bone folder, because we can get it real straight even when the paper sometimes doesn't want to cooperate. We're also going to go this direction and fold in the other side to get that 4. Using that fold line as my guiding line, nice and sharp and straight. So we have all our folds made. Looks good, don't it? Nice and sharp. Now I'm going to grab a pen to show you where we're cutting because sometimes it can be a little tricky to see. We're going to make a cut from here to here, straight down the center of our folds. When you're looking at your paper, we're going to start here and cut here. If you're using scissors, you can always just fold this down the center and cut a line right here. But I'm using an X-Acto knife, so I know I didn't mention this, but a ruler is helpful as a guiding line. If you can just eyeball it, that's good too. But I like a little bit of a straight edge. And I also use that guiding line. And put my X-Acto blade right up to that metal ruler and use it to cut all the way down to my other line. Remember, always safety. Put my cap right back on because I don't want anyone to get hurt. So now that we've made our line, this is what your page should look like. Like a little bit of a mouth. So, how do we get this cut piece of paper to look like a book? We're going to fold it down. We're going to push it into itself. Just like this. So it looks like a little X. And then we're going to wrap those pages around themselves. And there we have it. Little book. Clean up those fold lines because some of them aren't going the direction we originally folded them. But that is our little booklet. How exciting is that? But yeah, I'm going to show you one more time how to push in those folds. So our flat sheet of paper with our cut line. fold it behind itself in half, push it together to the center. Our little X marks the spot. We're going to wrap those pages around themselves. And there you have it, your very first zine structure. I gotta say, I can tell yours look really good. Now, if you want to practice, you can try it on your own and follow along, but it also is helpful that I included a template along with this lesson so you can practice to make your own. One thing that's helpful for me when I'm designing books for content, so we made the basic structure, we're going to want to fill this one day. So when I'm making a model of a structure like this one is, because it has no content, it's basically just for me to understand how the structure is working and to build it for the first time to see how I like it. I like to label what's going on in each book. So this will be my cover page. I'll write it there. Sorry, I wrote it kind of ugly, but this is a model, not supposed to be perfect. And I'm gonna go in here and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back. This always helps me know my layout for when I'm designing a book. So when I open it back up, when I want to put images on, I know the direction those images are supposed to go and where they're supposed to be laid out. So I know my cover will go here and my back cover will go here. So if I were to draw something in here to understand where I want it, so like here's a sun and here's a moon. And let's say I wanted to put something on page 4, like a guy doing a fun dance with a disco ball. Wah, 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 disco party. I would then open this up and realize that the layout calls for me to flip this image when I'm laying it out. So like when I'm looking at it this way, these images are right side up for reading, but these ones are upside down. So when I'm building my book, I want to be mindful of what direction I'm placing my images. I have an example to show you of a completed zine, and I think you might find it interesting what the subject matter is. So this is a zine I found out and about. Actually, scratch that. My friend gave this to me because part of zine culture is to share zines. And this zine happens to be, what is a zine? I didn't make this one, but I do have a section on the website that talks about zines, and this one is very good about explaining all sort of the different ways zines have come about and their history with social justice. So zines are a great way to like disseminate information very quickly and also very ergonomically, because this is something you could very much design on a one sheet and then put in a photocopier and make tons of. So let me show you what it looks like completely flat. So this is what I was talking about where image placement matters. So we have these read the correct way on the page going this way. So this is our cover and this is our back. Basically the heads are touching and the feet are the other way. But how cute is this? And you can literally fill it with anything. I also think it's interesting if you were to utilize the back, maybe not, like maybe as a secondary book could be interesting. So you could make it a reversible book if you wanted to, or you could put a cool design on the back, or you could do like a poster. So this is free real estate for you to do whatever. But if you just want to try out making a zine, this is a great structure to try. And once you practice, you have officially made your very first book. Huzzah! Welcome to life as a zinester. We're glad to have you.